Every single human being, no matter where they come from, no matter how powerful or ordinary their life may seem, carries a deep desire inside their heart to be loved, to be respected, and to be valued. This is a universal truth, and yet, it is also where most people lose themselves, because in the process of chasing these things, they forget that the first and most important source of love and respect must come from within. Priyanka Chopra's journey and her powerful words highlight this truth. The moment you begin to beg for someone's love, their attention, or their respect, you silently surrender your dignity and your strength. And once you surrender your dignity, no relationship, no matter how passionate it may seem, can truly fulfill you. Think about it, when you ask yourself, do they love me, or do they respect me? You are handing over your worth to someone else's hands. The real shift, the real transformation in life, comes when you stop asking, do they value me? And instead ask, do I value myself? Because the truth is simple but powerful. If you don't love yourself first, if you don't carry your own respect with unshakable confidence, then no one else will ever consistently give it to you. Too often, people spend years, sometimes their entire lives, chasing after validation from others, desperate for recognition, for approval, for affection, and in that chase they forget that they are already enough. They forget that love and respect are not things you beg for, they are things that flow naturally when you honor your own worth. Priyanka Chopra's life stands as an example that when you choose to respect yourself, when you walk with pride in who you are and refuse to bend your values just to please others, people around you are forced to acknowledge it. The foundation of every healthy relationship, whether it is with your partner, your friends, your family, or even with the world at large, begins with self-worth. Without it, you will constantly find yourself in situations where you are underappreciated, undervalued, and taken for granted, because you trained people to treat you the way you treat yourself. The painful reality is that people can sense desperation, and when you beg for love, attention, or respect, they give you the bare minimum, knowing you will accept it. But when you carry yourself with self-love, you raise the standards, and the world has no choice but to rise and meet them. This is why Priyanka Chopra emphasizes that self-worth is not arrogance, it is not pride, it is the unshakable understanding that you deserve love, but you do not need to crawl for it. You deserve respect, but you will not beg for it. You deserve attention, but you will not sell your soul for it. Your worth is not defined by how others see you, it is defined by how you see yourself. That is the foundation of true strength, and that is where every powerful relationship, starting with the one you have with yourself, must begin. Love is one of the most powerful forces in human life. It can lift us, heal us, and give us meaning, but if we are not careful, it can also break us, weaken us, and strip away our identity. Too often, people confuse love with sacrifice, believing that in order to keep a relationship alive, they must give up their dreams, their voice, and even their sense of who they truly are. But the truth, as Priyanka Chopra's words and life remind us, is that authentic love never demands you to shrink yourself. Real love, the kind that is deep and lasting, does not ask you to beg for affection, to compromise your dignity, or to surrender your self-worth. Instead, it is a love that allows you to stand tall, to grow, to flourish, and to be fully accepted for exactly who you are. If someone truly loves you, they will never make you feel invisible, small, or unworthy of respect. Yet so many people remain trapped in relationships where they are constantly questioning themselves, constantly wondering if they are good enough, constantly bending backwards to meet someone else's standards, all while forgetting that their own standards matter too. This is not love, it is attachment born out of fear. Priyanka Chopra's journey is proof that when you respect yourself enough to walk away from a love that makes you beg, you open the door to a love that honors you without conditions. The strongest form of love is not the one where you lose yourself to keep another person happy, it is the one where you are free to be yourself, where your individuality and your partner's individuality coexist with mutual respect. When love begins to demand that you lower your voice, hide your light, or silence your dreams, it is no longer love, it is control. And control is the opposite of freedom. A relationship built on control is a prison, but a relationship built on mutual respect is liberation. Priyanka's story shows us that the people who are meant to stay in your life will never ask you to beg for their attention, because your worth will already be clear to them. They will celebrate your success, not fear it. They will encourage your growth, not hold you back. They will see your strength as a blessing, not a threat. So many people waste years trying to convince someone to see their value, but here is the harsh truth: if someone cannot see your worth, it is not your job to make them see it. It is your job to never forget it. Real love will never ask you to compromise your identity, and real strength lies in walking away from any connection that forces you to beg for scraps of affection. The moment you decide that you will no longer trade your self-respect in exchange for someone's approval, you reclaim your freedom, and that is when you discover that love without self-worth is not love at all, it is surrender. True love begins the moment you choose yourself first. Respect is not a luxury in relationships, it is the foundation, the backbone, the silent force that sustains love, trust, and connection. Without respect, love quickly turns into obsession, attention becomes manipulation, and relationships become cages. Priyanka Chopra's life and words prove that respect is never something you beg for, it is something you command through the way you carry yourself, through the standards you set, and through the courage to walk away when those standards are not met. Too many people stay in situations where their value is consistently ignored, where their voice is silenced, and where their boundaries are crossed, all because they fear losing someone's love. But love without respect is empty, fragile, and destructive. If someone cannot respect your time, your energy, your feelings, or your dreams, then what they offer you is not love, it is convenience. Respect means honoring someone as an equal, not as a shadow. And the moment you allow someone to treat you as less than you are, you send a message that you are willing to accept crumbs when you deserve the whole feast. Priyanka Chopra's success on the global stage shows us what happens when you refuse to bend your identity for acceptance. People eventually rise to respect you because you set a standard that demands it. This is the lesson we all need to embrace: stop lowering your worth just to make others comfortable, because every time you do, you teach them that your respect is negotiable, that your dignity has a price. But true power comes when you understand that respect cannot be bought, begged, or bargained for, it must be earned by others and protected by you. Think of it like this. When someone sees that you stand firm in your values, that you will not accept disrespect disguised as love, they will either rise to treat you better or they will leave. And if they leave, consider it a blessing, because disrespectful people are not losses, they are lessons. The world will try to test your boundaries, people will try to see how much you are willing to tolerate, and life will keep pushing until you draw the line. That line, that standard, is what defines your self-respect. Priyanka Chopra's voice reminds us that when you respect yourself enough to demand better, you do not lose people, you lose the ones who were never meant to stay. And in that loss, you create space for real love, for true connection, and for relationships that uplift rather than drain you. So remember this truth: respect is not optional, it is not secondary, it is not a bonus, it is the heartbeat of every meaningful relationship. Without it, love will eventually collapse, no matter how passionate it feels in the beginning. Never lower your standards just to keep someone in your life. Raise your standards, guard your dignity, and let the world adjust to your worth, because respect is not negotiable, it is everything. One of the greatest traps of modern life is the endless hunger for validation, the desperate need to be noticed, approved of, and celebrated by others. And this trap has become even more dangerous in today's world of social media, where people measure their worth by the number of likes, comments, or followers they receive. Priyanka Chopra's wisdom reminds us that external validation, no matter how bright or glamorous it may seem, can never fill the emptiness inside a heart that has not learned to value itself. When you live for the applause, you become a prisoner of silence, because the day the applause stops, you will collapse. Too many people fall into relationships, friendships, or careers where their sense of worth is built entirely on someone else's recognition, and when that recognition fades, they begin to question their very identity. But the truth is this: if your confidence comes only from outside approval, it will always be fragile, unstable, and dependent. Real confidence, the kind that never shakes, must be built from within. Priyanka's own journey through relentless criticism, pressure, and judgment shows us that no matter how much attention you receive from the world, it will never be enough if you are empty inside. The cycle of seeking validation is endless. You achieve something, you are praised, you feel worthy for a moment, and then the craving begins again, leaving you restless, hungry, and never satisfied. This is why so many people beg for attention in relationships. They believe that if their partner constantly reassures them, they will finally feel secure, but that security never lasts, because it is borrowed, not owned. Real strength is not found in convincing others that you are valuable. It is found in convincing yourself that you are valuable, regardless of what anyone says. Priyanka Chopra teaches us that when you stop chasing validation, when you stop measuring your value through the lens of others, you gain a freedom that no approval can buy. You are no longer swayed by opinions, no longer controlled by whether someone notices you or not, because your worth becomes rooted in something far deeper, your self-respect. This doesn't mean that love, attention, or recognition are meaningless. It means that they should be blessings, not lifelines. They should be additions to your life, not the foundation of it. When you understand this, you stop begging for scraps of attention from those who do not see your light, and you begin to shine regardless. The world will always have opinions, people will always judge, and attention will always be temporary, but self-worth is eternal. The danger of seeking validation is that you hand over your power, your identity, and your happiness to others. But the moment you reclaim it, the moment you decide that you are enough as you are, you break free from that prison. That is when you step into true strength, unshakable and unstoppable, because you no longer live for the world, you live for yourself. One of the most difficult but most powerful decisions a person can ever make in life is the decision to walk away when love, respect, and value are no longer present. It is human nature to hold on, to people, to relationships, to comfort zones, because we are afraid of the unknown, afraid of being alone, afraid that letting go means losing something important. But Priyanka Chopra's journey shows us that real strength is not found in how tightly you can hold on, but in how courageously you can let go when holding on begins to destroy your dignity. Walking away is not weakness, it is one of the purest forms of self-respect. It is the declaration to yourself and to the world that you refuse to accept less than you deserve. Too many people stay in relationships where they are undervalued, ignored, or disrespected, convincing themselves that things will change, that love will somehow grow stronger if they keep giving more. But love is not supposed to be begged for, and respect is not something you earn by suffering. The longer you stay in a place where you are not valued, the more you teach yourself to accept pain as normal. Walking away breaks that cycle, it rewrites the story and sets a new standard for how you demand to be treated. Priyanka's words remind us that endings are not failures, they are beginnings. The moment you walk away from what is hurting you, you create space for something better, something truer, something aligned with your worth. People often confuse loyalty with endurance, believing that staying no matter how bad things get is a sign of strength. But real loyalty should never come at the cost of your soul. You can love someone deeply and still choose yourself. You can respect a memory but refuse to stay trapped in a present that disrespects you. This is the real test of mental strength, not how much you can tolerate, but how bravely you can step away. And here is the most powerful truth: when you walk away from what does not value you, life rewards you with people, opportunities, and love that finally do. It is as if the universe waits for you to prove that you will not settle before it delivers what you truly deserve. Walking away is not about bitterness or revenge, it is about alignment. It is about saying, I honor myself too much to remain where I am not valued. And when you carry this strength, you transform not only your relationships but your entire life. Priyanka Chopra's wisdom echoes through this lesson: never beg for love, attention, or respect. If it is not given freely, it is not worth having. True power lies in walking away with your head held high, your heart intact, and your dignity unbroken, because self-worth is not proven by who you hold on to, it is proven by what you are willing to let go of.